Writing is difficult, and that's why IELTS candidates usually get a lower score for this part of this test than for speaking, listening, or reading. But why? Find out in this lesson. One of the biggest challenges is grammar. Sure, you need to have good grammar to do well in IELTS speaking, and good grammar skills will help you in reading and listening. However, it is most important for IELTS writing. In particular, being able to use the basic punctuation marks in English is absolutely essential. You should be able to use the following: full stop or period, comma, semicolon, question mark, apostrophe, and so on. But most importantly, you ought to know how to use periods and commas. Let's have a little test. Pause the video and look at the following sentences. Note down which ones are incorrect, and for the ones that are incorrect, figure out what is wrong. There should be 2 correct answers. Here are the correct answers. Let's first look at the rules of commas in complex sentences. Complex sentences are the most common type of sentence in the English language. You probably use them every day, even if you don't know what they are. Basically, a complex sentence is an independent clause and a dependent clause. It could function like this: independent plus dependent. For example, I'll eat pizza when I'm in Italy. Or dependent plus independent. When I'm in Italy, I'll eat pizza. Notice how in the second example, I included a comma between the 2 clauses. Why? I did this because when the independent clause comes first, the 2 clauses should be split by a comma. However, when the independent clause is first, there should be no comma. Here are some more examples. You can find out about clauses, sentence types, and punctuation in my awesome book, Grammar for IELTS Writing. You can get a free digital copy at my website, www.TED-IELTS.com, or you can buy the paperback version of the book on Amazon. I'll put a link below. Compound sentences are another really important sentence type, and you must know how to use them to succeed in IELTS writing. Basically, they are made up of 2 independent clauses together, and they can be joined together in a few ways. However, as we're looking at commas today, I will focus on those. To make this kind of sentence, you need to put 2 independent clauses together and then join them with a comma and a coordinating conjunction. That means one of the following: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Here are some examples of compound sentences divided by commas. As you can see in the examples, this is a simple kind of sentence to make. You just split the 2 clauses with a comma and follow the comma with a fanboys coordinator: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Compound sentences can also incorporate conjunctive adverbs after a semicolon. The conjunctive adverb should be followed by a comma. For example, some people really dislike rap music. However, it continues to sell very well. In order to succeed at IELTS writing, you will need to do well in the Coherence and Cohesion section of the marking rubric. To do this, you need to be using transitional phrases, which are also called signpost phrases or connecting phrases. depending on your textbook. These phrases show the relationship between your sentences and paragraphs, so they are vitally important. There are many kinds of these words and phrases, and some of them are used, as in the previous example, with conjunctive adverbs following a semicolon. They are most commonly found at the beginning of sentences, such as in these examples. Introductory phrases can be a bit longer and generally set the scene for a sentence. Some examples include, "With the wind blowing violently, the ship set off on its long voyage." Since 2008, the company has been offering expert advice to customers. In the past, we have made some mistakes, but now we are committed to rectifying them. And to make amends, we will be reimbursing all losses. Items in a list should be separated by a comma, and there should be one comma between each item. These can be actual items, such as noun objects, or lists of ideas or even actions. For example, the following. It is important for this sort of sentence to pay attention to parallelism. At its simplest, this means keeping all items in the list in the same basic form. If you use verbs, try to keep the verb tenses the same. Don't mix adjectives and nouns, for example. Let's look at some common mistakes with commas. The most common errors with commas are comma splices and run-on sentences. A comma splice is where two independent clauses are divided by a comma and nothing else. For example, the cat likes cat food, the dog likes dog food. This is not correct. We could change it to include a coordinating conjunction. For example, the cat likes cat food and the dog likes dog food. A run-on sentence is where there should be a comma, but there is none. Last week we saw a show in London and then went out to a fantastic restaurant. So we should have put the comma after last week. We could also have put a comma after London. It is quite common for people to include commas where they are not needed, and some people think that commas reflect a brief pause in speech or a gap before an idea. This is incorrect. In the following sentence, we can see this. It is clear that we need to get our affairs in order. There is simply no reason for a comma to appear after the word clear, but some people might do this thinking that they would take a breath at this point in the sentence. Finally, referring to the complex sentence rules previously discussed, people often include a comma before the word because. However, you should remember that because is a subordinating coordinator and thus introduces a dependent clause. If it follows an independent clause, it should never be preceded by a comma. The following example, I want to visit France, comma, because I think it's romantic, is completely incorrect. Commas are very common in English writing, and there are more uses than the ones I have listed today. However, these are the most important for you to know. You should study these rules and practice writing example sentences of your own. When writing for the IELTS exam, you should ask yourself whether your sentences fall into the categories above, and thus whether you have included commas in the right place or not. If you need help with your IELTS writing, please check out my writing correction service. I offer fast, professional, and affordable help. My students regularly score band 7 or higher after solving their writing problems with my expert assistance. I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson. If you found it useful, please give this video a like and leave a comment down below saying how it has helped you. Thanks for listening. I've been David Wills, and this is TED-IELTS.